Well, I'm thrilled to know that I'm live now, except that I don't actually see anything great. Okay, so I've just been awkwardly sitting here for how long? Should have been 2:50, right? Should have been just about a minute ago. Did I just click in a second ago? I'm trying this with a low latency so I can actually see all of the uh, chats in real time. A few minutes, 2 minutes. Wow, okay. Good thing I wasn't doing anything awkward or weird or like singing to myself. My YouTube thing is not showing me on the screen, but I do see myself in the OBS, and I have, I have you guys here in the chat. So I am just here for about 20 minutes because I am heading out to do an event tonight, a couple hours away. So I got to get in the car, get on the road pretty soon. But I wanted to go quickly and do just a little Q&A for the upcoming studio build / rebuild. I'm not really building it for the first time, but when we moved into this new house and I decided to take this 13 by 14 foot spare bedroom, which is a big spare bedroom, as it were. I mean, it's bigger than most master bedrooms I used to have. I decided to take this room and turn it into my studio. I was in the middle of touring season when we moved, so I just threw my stuff in here wherever I thought it could go. And I haven't really moved it since, and it's been really inefficient, and it's not optimized for good sound quality, for good audio. I'm doing a lot of noise reduction in post, doing a lot of de-noise, reverb, de-echo. It's also got a bass buildup in this room, so I'm taking out a lot of bass in post-production. Plus, like, my closet is a total disaster. I don't have that big, beautiful cube organizer like I used to have. Well, I still have that. It's just in a different room because it didn't fit in this room, even though this is a much bigger room, because it used to go in the closet where I had taken the doors off. But this closet has the air duct for the central air going through it, so that takes up half of the closet. So there's like so many things that I just felt like I needed to finally change and make more efficient, make look better and sound better, especially for the types of videos and the types of tutorials and everything I do here. So toss into the comments section any questions you have, into the chat, any questions you have about the upcoming rebuild. And in particular, I'm accepting questions, any questions you guys want to submit for next week. I'm doing basically like a podcast interview, but I'm going to with one of the primary engineers for GIK Acoustics, which is one of the premier sound absorption companies, who is sponsoring a handful of the videos during this rebuild. I'm doing a complete 11-piece sound treatment, acoustic treatment panels in this room. I'm going to talk you guys through over the course of 3 or 4 videos why I'm putting up what I'm putting up, what they do, how they work, what they're designed to do, and also show you what it's like to work with GIK Acoustics, to go into their room building software and build out your room, and then talk with an engineer and get feedback on what exactly what type of sound absorption you should be using for your room, for your purposes, and that whole thing. So as part of that video series, I'm going to be chatting with the engineer that I worked with to decide on what pieces I was getting from my room. I'm going to record it like a podcast, and I'll probably put it up as an episode for next season of my podcast, but I'm going to be taking out clips of it and sticking them into this series of studio rebuild videos as part of the education and hopefully also entertainment for you guys. So what questions do you have for an acoustic audio engineer, someone who builds and designs and works with acoustic treatment for home studios? What questions would you have for an engineer specialized in acoustic treatment in terms of home studios? So I think this is a dumb question, but I'll ask anyways. Tell me about the microphone you're using right now. It's crystal clear. Thank you very much. Dr. Oh boy, how do I pronounce? Can you give me a phonetic pronunciation of your last name? Hegde? I want to pronounce it properly, and I'm sure I'm not. Srikanth Man, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and I want to be respectful. Thank you for this question. This is just an SM58. That's right. This is the industry standard microphone. This is a Shure SM58. It's about $100. These things have been around since the beginning of recorded audio, basically. They've been around since microphones were invented, practically. And they are built like tanks. They sound Hegday. It's like egg. Hegday. Oh, Dr. Hegday. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Shure SM58. These things are built like tanks. They sound phenomenal, and they've been optimized for the human voice. They have a pop filter built into them, even though I use double extra super pop filters. So I do a windscreen, which if Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, does a pretty good job, but I also shove one of these on the outside. So Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. That should, between the internal pop screen and then the wind muff and then, or windscreen, and then the external pop filter here, that should completely get rid of all the plosives in the voice. So I recommend this microphone all the time. I don't understand why more podcasters, why more YouTubers aren't talking about recommending this microphone. In the audio world, there's probably 10 of these mics in every professional studio in the world. Every band uses them on tour for live vocals. So this is a cardioid dynamic microphone. So it's a professional mic with an XLR output rather, an XLR connection. So you do need an audio interface with an XLR connection. There's no USB option on this mic, which is one of the reasons I think a lot of people don't use it for YouTube or entry-level podcasting. But you're really better off getting a professional XLR. The USB connection for microphones is just low quality. It's not a good idea. Stay away from it if you can. So this mic's got a professional XLR connection. It's cardioid. Cardioid, if you follow my other channel, Audio for Content Creators, or if you've gone through my Audio 101 for Content Creators course, what was I doing? I got so focused on giving the plug that I forgot what I was just about to say. Yeah, I'll leave it in the description. Sure, SM58. What was I just saying about this microphone? Oh, it's cardioid. So there's different pickup patterns. In other words, the direction, the way that a microphone picks up sound. So a cardioid picks up sound from the front, and it also picks up sound from the side, but almost nothing from the back. It picks up almost nothing from behind. So if I turn this, if I talk in from the other side, it gets almost completely silent. This has phenomenal rejection. But if I come back around and bring it back towards my mouth, it comes back in crystal clear. That is the beauty of a cardioid pickup pattern. So it's cardioid, so it does pick up from the sides, but it has perfect off-axis rejection, off-axis. So if you take one of these, if you're doing an interview and you're facing each other, hey, Ben, if you're facing each other, you've got one of these and the other person facing you, you almost completely avoid crosstalk between the microphones, which is beautiful. And it's dynamic. Dynamic microphones are less sensitive, so you have to get right up on them. You have to, as I tell people, eat the microphone. They're very insensitive. So if I move even 6 inches away and keep talking at the same volume I was, it gets much, much quieter. And if I move 12 inches away and keep talking at the volume I was, it gets really, really quiet. So dynamic microphones are less sensitive. Why is that good for YouTube? Why is that good for most podcasters? Because most podcasters and most YouTube creators are not in acoustically treated rooms. They're in rooms like this right now. This room has 7.5-foot ceilings. They're low ceilings, so I get a slap back echo. And there's nothing much on the walls right now because I haven't done acoustic treatment yet. Now I've got carpeting and a couch in here, so this room's better than most home offices or home studio setups would be. But if you have a dynamic mic, it's not sensitive. And because it's not sensitive, it really rejects the room noise. So this thing sounds really, really good. Everybody who's struggling with audio for YouTube or their podcast is probably using a condenser microphone. Condenser mic, like the Blue Yeti. Everyone tells people you got to use the large diaphragm condenser mics. No, this is a marketing ploy. Condenser microphones are hypersensitive. You use the Zoom H1N. Okay, that's interesting. Are you using an external capsule, or are you just using the inbuilt microphones for the H1N? Because those are condenser microphones. Condenser microphones are very, very, very sensitive. They'll pick up anything, which means if you're in a poorly treated acoustic environment, if you're in a room with a lot of echo, they'll pick up the echo because there's echo in the room. When you're using the inbuilt ones. Okay, so the inbuilt mics on that, I'm pretty sure, are condenser. They're super, super sensitive. And so if whatever you have in the room, if you have echo in the room, they're going to pick up the echo because they're really sensitive and they're doing their job. That's the job of a highly sensitive microphone, is to pick up what's in the room. But if you're doing podcasting, if you're doing YouTube videos, you don't want all that echo. So if you use a dynamic microphone like the Shure SM58, then because it's almost like a lower resolution sound, it's not nearly as sensitive. So it helps you by not picking up all the room noise, by not picking up the background noise, by not picking up the lawn mowing going on outside, or the kids in the other room, or the air conditioning, or whatever you've got going on, right? Like right now, it's not picking up my the fan noise coming from my computer that's working really hard right now. Let me give you an example of the difference between using a dynamic mic and a condenser mic. Because, all right. So I've got sitting right here next to me, this is the Zoom H5 with the SGH6 shotgun capsule, which I've been doing reviews on my other channel, on the Audio for Content Creators channel. I hate this. I absolutely hate this shotgun mic. Let me give you an example of the difference. It's out of frame. That's the beauty, right? It's out of frame. It's nowhere near me, but it's hypersensitive. So if I switch over to it, okay, now you should be hearing the SGH6. That is a hypersensitive shotgun microphone. And right now you can probably hear all the echo. It probably sounds thin and hollow and tinny because this room currently sounds thin and hollow and tinny, except for this extra low bass buildup in the corners, which is a nightmare for me when I'm trying to do radio-like podcasting. Hell of a difference, right, Ben? Let me click back here. And let's see, I get up at 4 a.m. and shoot the footage. Man, 4 a.m. That's not even a real time. I don't even know what that is. Let me switch back. So now I'm back to the SM58, and yes, I have a microphone in the shot. Yes, I have to stay close to it and eat the mic, but the difference in sound quality is tremendous. It's incredible when you use one of these. I haven't seen any questions come in the chat about for an engineer over at GIK Acoustics. If you were thinking about getting acoustic treatment for your studio, what questions would you have for them? I'd love to be able to take any of your questions and bring them to that interview. Your tube amp on top of the Marshall looks very interesting. Oh, it is. The tube amp over here, this beautiful thing. First of all, I should leave that on in the background of every video because it's awesome, but that is a Hughes and Kettner. It's a Tubemeister 18 watt with variable output from silent headphone output to 1 watt, 5 watt, or 18 watts variable output, full tube, and that thing is killer. It goes from warm, just warm, beautiful, clean tones, really warm, buttery cleans, not Fender, not like the crisp Fender shimmery cleans, but like warm, buttery, clean tones, to really killer crunch. and then it goes, if you engage the boost, you go up to full 80s hair metal screaming distortion. I've never owned an amp that could go from as clean as that does to as heavy as it does in one shot. It's amazing. I mean, I don't do anything on either of my channels that's about music per se. So I would, I don't know where I would do a review of that, but maybe I should, because I love that thing. But yeah, it does. It looks amazing lit up. The whole purpose of this was to take questions, Q&A about the upcoming studio build. Oh, what audio interface are you recording the 58 into right now? Thank you, Ben. I use all of my stuff is, and I just realized I was clipping a little bit because I got a little bit too close to it. So let me back off the input gain there. Video lags a little bit. I don't know what to do about that. That's encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings or using a faster encoding. Well, you guys are right. The video is overloading, and I'm not sure why. The video lags a little bit. What can I do for that? Video. Video output is currently active. Doesn't mean I can do much. Encoder. Let's see. Let's do that. Hang on. Settings. Output. Fast. Ultra fast. I don't know what that means. All right, I'm doing ultra fast, so hopefully the encoding is working all right. I got to get off in a minute. What audio interface are you recording the Shure SM58 into right now? I use PreSonus for basically everything, my hardware and my software. So I have two. I can do a video on that at some point, Ben. Would that be useful? I've never done that before. I don't think ever in 3 years on this channel. Would that be useful for me to take you through the hardware and software that I use? Not Final Cut. You all know I use that, but all the other stuff. I use 8-inch PreSonus active studio monitors. These things are amazing. They're sitting on RLX pads to handle the so that they don't get overly bassy, so that they reject the bass response from the wood panel that they're sitting on, the tabletop. So I have big giant 8-inch MMT Pros. First time in your live stream, hooked since seeing your Movo versus Rode videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yes, they're PreSonus Eris 8. English, dude, English. Okay. I'm going to have to do a different video to talk you guys through this stuff. This is one of the reasons I don't talk about this stuff. This gets into like the super intensive audio stuff. So I have two 8-inch monitors, which means the actual speakers themselves are 8-inch. They each also have a small tweeter. I can't turn the video around to show you that right now. They're sitting here and here. They're angled a little bit downwards and at me. They're both sitting on RLX pads. RLX is a company that makes sound absorption. They're these thick pads that you can put monitors on or speakers on if you have home studio or if you have home audio, like home theater stuff, so that the bass and all of the frequencies, the rumble that comes through the speakers, if it's sitting on wood or glass, that's conducive to audio. So it would take the audio and it would amplify it through the wood. You don't want that. You want a clean signal. So you sit the monitors on top of these pads that absorb all of the extra sound and don't let it get reverberated through whatever it's sitting on. MMT, appreciate the tip. Thank you. So there's that. Then I have a PreSonus Audio Box 44. So this is a pretty heavy-duty interface. It has 4 XLR inputs, which also function as line in. So it has 4 XLR inputs. They have X-Max preamps. These are PreSonus preamps that are proprietary. These X-Max are some of the cleanest, most transparent preamps in the industry. They are silent. They are crystal clear. So you get no noise from the preamp itself. It's beautiful. Lots of controls on this thing I can show you sometime, including phantom power, individual gain for each of the settings, for each of the input jacks. I have a knob to transition between the output and the input. So if I have headphones on and I want to monitor what's actually coming into the interface, I can mix between the incoming audio to the interface and what's being outputted through the speakers or through my headphones. So that's really useful. They have a headphone jack, headphone level and a headphone jack, and then a speaker output level that I can turn as well. That's going into my speakers, and it has extra outputs if I wanted to have multiple sets of speakers and A, B, C between them. So that it's the PreSonus Audio Box 44 VSL. They've discontinued this one. They have a new version of it. I'm thinking about upgrading to, but I've had this one for like 6 years, and it's awesome. And I hate upgrading when there's no reason to, when everything's working fine. And that plugs in via USB. So that's that. And then I also use PreSonus Studio One Professional, Studio One Pro, which is the audio editing software that I use. It is not the ideal one to use with video. It doesn't play nicely with video editors, but it's what I've always used for audio, and we get into routines, we get into habits. So anyway, I got to run. I got to get to a gig. If you guys think of questions for John, the engineer that I'm doing an interview with next week about, this is for you guys. It's an interview because I know all the stuff he's going to tell me. So if you have questions about home studio treatment, what type of treatment, what it does, what things you need to worry about first, price points and different types, all that stuff. If you have questions, put them in the chat, put them in the comments of this video, send them to me, send them to audio101cc@gmail.com. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold recently. The studio build, all these videos will be on this, my primary channel, and then I'll do some bonus videos related to the build that are more specific to audio samples on the Audio for Content Creators channel, so we'll have a little cross-promotion between my two channels. And yeah. Oh, also, I have another upcoming sponsored collaboration to tell you guys about soon with a microphone company, which is very exciting. So listen, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Send your questions for John over at GIK Acoustics to my email or here in the comments. And yeah, all right. I think, just one more time. Let's switch back over to the SGH6. I mean, come on. How crappy does that sound? That is such a terrible sound. I hate this microphone. It's noisy and it's hissy and it's ugh. It sounds terrible. Why I hate it. I hate it. I'm leaving. Bye guys.